Hey people, what's up? It's Jamil. And so I'm at a really interesting point right now, man. I'm at a paradox where between me, this young woman, right, love of my life, right, and I noticed in the last couple days, the only dynamic that's left for us to process through is open communication. Within the last couple of weeks, we went from not really showing any interest of doing anything to us making some sort of communication through the gang stalking program. And then I went for the first time. I directly just started talking to her through the YouTube videos. I thought to myself, I said, well, if I'm talking to everybody else on YouTube, why not just talk to her? And as I started talking to her, I noticed a great change in her. I noticed that the videos really hit her, and it became far more challenging for her to do the gang stalking against me. But at the same time, her whole attitude changed. Every time I've seen her, her body language, she looks like she's greatly more with me than she was before. Before, it was kind of like she wouldn't want me to see her doing the gang stalking, or she would put her head down or something, and it looked like it was more out of shame. But now it looks like it's more out of compassion. And the only thing left is open communication. Everybody else has open communication. Her family has open communication with her. Whoever else comes in contact with her, the gang stalking program, whatever. Everybody has open communication. Me and her have such a strong, deep connection, but all I've had up to this point was just us looking at each other and going off of that. And then I stepped out. I took that step and just started putting YouTube videos, and I saw how that directly affected her. And then right now, what's stopping the open communication is doubt. There's still unprocessed doubt. She has doubt on her end. And at first, I thought it was coming from the gang stalking program, or I thought it was coming from the family. In a sense, it is, but it's more of a doubt that's stemming out of fear. Okay? I remember I did that Treb interview. I did a Treb interview. I know some of you know about Treb channeling. Treb. And Treb was saying that there had been a sadness, then there had been a fear that she wouldn't be able to connect with me in the way she wanted to, due to her family's perception of me, and due to her family thinking I was talking bad about them. Okay, so that was back in the winter. I think at this point, the family doesn't look at me in a sense as me talking bad about them. Like it's kind of obvious what happened with that situation. That wasn't really. I think they realized it wasn't really what they thought it was, and then so now the family's perception of me has changed greatly. I don't know what their perception of me is right now, but I know it's drastically different than what it was a few months ago. And so at this point, whatever's there, keeping her from having open communication with me, it's doubt within the concept of fear. Like there's a fear, if I talk to Jamil openly, how will others view me? What will happen? How will that relate to me and my family? She's employed. She's making money doing this stuff too. I mean, she's getting something out of it. So how will that change that dynamic? And me and her talking and having open communication. This goes back. We had met. We had talked a little bit a few years ago. So this goes back way before the gang stalking scenario. But right now we're in the gang stalking scenario. And for me, I erased all doubt. I said, well, where I was coming from, I'm just like, look, this is what you really want, okay? And so then I put myself out there, and I said all those things. And I could tell it made her really happy, and I was like, thank God, man, that's all I want is for her to be happy. I can't, it's very uncomfortable to see her unhappy. And then at the same time, we don't have this open communication that we greatly need. If I was able to communicate with her openly, just for 2-3 minutes, that would be it. That would be the turning point right there. Because everything else is so strong. Just me doing a YouTube video is strong enough to keep her from coming outside sometimes or doing other things. These people that in the gang stalking program that they pair her up with, she's with them a lot, and she still won't even drive down the street and look at me with them in the car. So that shows how. And this was before I came on YouTube. This is back when I first came from Phoenix. So my influence over her is great, and her influence over me is great. We're both deeply connected, but there's no open communication. And that's stemming from, again, that's stemming from doubt, that's stemming from fear. And so at this point, since I've been eradicating my fear, and I came out and I told her, I'm like, I love you, blah, 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 blah. What that has done is that has greatly changed the dynamic, because it's purged out and erased a certain level of doubt within me, and then it's made it obvious to others around her that I've erased my doubt about that. But again, there's still no open communication. And so I know the people around her I can see that the people around her are feeling what she's feeling. They're feeling the love that I've embraced her with. But at the same time, there's a little bit of frustration there. She really doesn't want to, she really wants to come to me, but at the same time, she doesn't want, the gang stalking program and her family and stuff are still working with her, and so they want her to do certain stuff, and a lot of times she just doesn't want to do it. I mean, the majority of the time, like the most I've seen is like her, like me standing right here, and then the street way down there, she'll drive by in a car like this. And then sometimes she won't even do that at all. Sometimes she'll just completely refuse to do it. And so we have more belief. Me and her have more belief in us being together. Because if she didn't have belief in what me and her share, that wouldn't be going on. It wouldn't make sense. It's just been 3 or 4 months this has been going on with the gang stalking program, and she just won't do what they want her to do. And at the same time, she does just enough to get by, but everybody else has communication with her and I don't. So if I was able to have communication with her, all that would come to an end. And I think that's what her family's looking at. Her family's looking at it like, if Jamila has this much influence over our daughter already, and he's not even talking to her, and then he goes on YouTube and does a video, and then after the YouTube video, she just kind of flipped a little bit, She's just like, damn, I can't do this. If me and her are that deeply connected, I'm having that much great influence over her without us talking, what would happen if we actually talked? If she just said, okay, let's talk. And that's the first thing that happened. The first time I met her, is she was very nervous to come talk to me, but she said I'm going to do it anyway, and she came and introduced herself to me. This scenario here is the same sort of scenario. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of nervousness, but we're both different people. She's matured greatly as a person, I've matured greatly as a person, and we're both two different, it's not like the same, like who I am now, I'm definitely not the same person I was last year. This time last summer, two different people. Just pull up some of my YouTube videos from last summer, and you'll see it's like you're listening to two different people. And so, me and her, we've been working the process. She's been working the process of coming closer towards me, and I've been working the process of coming closer towards her. And now we're at a point where there's nothing more, I've been communicating my love through through YouTube. That's all I had. And then the thing she does, orchestrations with the gang stalking program and stuff. So we're just slowly merging to come together. And there has to be open communication. That's all that's left. And so whatever fear or doubt she has, I see she's been slowly erasing it. When I saw her about 2 days ago, I saw her. I didn't see her up close, but I saw her more up close. She was in the car, and I saw on her that she had a lot less doubt. Like she had more. It went from a thing where it was like before it was like there was like just a great crush against me, and then now it's just like she really wants to be with me, and she has more belief in that and less doubt in her not being with me. And so now we're at like a tipping point. Now we're at a tipping point where something has to happen. She has to be able to either like call me on the phone or stop and talk to me, or I don't know, maybe she'll just go against what everybody wants. Maybe she'll just say I'm a grown woman and I just want to speak openly. And so I want to speak my heart openly. And so she might do that. And so I don't see, the thing about it is it's more it's more of a belief of her having belief in her own voice, in her own heart. If she's saying that this is where my heart is, and I want to be able to communicate. I want to be able to communicate to Jamil how I feel. I want to be able to communicate my heart to Jamil. So I'm going to stop and speak to him for a few minutes and communicate that message to him. And then we're talking, we're having a dialogue. I don't believe the gang stalking program is stronger than that. And I don't believe her family's perception of me is stronger than that. Now, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, it might have been that her family's perception of me was strong enough to keep her from doing that. But I've noticed in the last 2-3 months, it's almost like the majority of the family. I mean, even the father kind of looks at me like, whatever. Like if the gang stalking program wasn't circulated, I don't think he would really care. I think he would just be like, whatever, man. If you want to talk to her, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but that's the kind of impression I've gotten. I don't think he's nearly as strongly against it as he was before. And the mother just kind of like, energy I picked up from the mother, she just kind of like, on either side of the fence, like, so it's more come down to like, what does she want more? And then what she wants more is going to be based off of what I want more. Because she's gonna see what I'm doing. She's gonna reflect back to me what I'm doing. I'm gonna reflect back to her what she's doing, and it all boils down to doubt. How much doubt? And see, now the gang stalking program, what they like to do is they like to create doubt. The gang stalking program tries to orchestrate stuff to make me have doubt of me and her, and then once I have their hope is if I have doubt, then I'll project that doubt back to her. And then she'll grab onto that doubt and project that doubt back to me, and back and forth. I no longer have doubt. Now I just have strong belief, because the little things that I do have more effect on her than the people who are around her 24/7. Her father's around her 24/7. Her mother's around her 24/7. The people that she gang stalks with, they're around her. I don't know if they're around her 24/7, but they're around her a lot. They all work at this. They all do the same stuff. So if I'm able to do these little bitty things and be able to influence her greater than the people who spend the majority of the time around her, how much influence would I have if I'm able to share my love, communicate that with her, talk to her? We're able to talk for 10 or 15 minutes. See my point? So for the manifestation of us being together and being able to openly communicate and seeing wherever that goes, there has to be open communication. And so that's the next thing. Now I'm already energetically pushing towards that. I've already come out with a video. I came out with a video saying follow your heart, and basically what I said in the video was like, just lead you where your heart leads you, and if you follow your heart, you can't go wrong. If you follow your mind, you're going to have doubt. When it comes to her, I don't follow my mind. I follow my heart. My heart tells me that she truly wants to be with me. My heart tells me that she wants me to continue to pursue her. Now, before, in the wintertime, I didn't do that. I said, I did a few things, and I just said, whatever, man. Now it's just like, but I was listening to my mind. Now I'm listening to my heart. Now I'm saying, okay, this is going to work. I have no doubt in it. I have full belief in it. I have 110% belief that we will be together. I'm following my heart, and I'm pursuing this. Then on her end, it's greatly influenced her. My belief in us being together has given her more belief in us being together, but there's still some doubt that's keeping us from having open communication. And again, the source of that, like I was saying, the source of that is the family dynamic. But that's become very thin. It's far thinner. The concept of what her family will think of her and all that stuff, that's a far thinner. It's far thinner than it was before. And so That's what it is open communication. That's all. That's all. That's the level that me and her are at now. Like today when I woke up this morning, I just realized that the only thing that the gang stalking program or the family has over anything is that me and her are openly communicating. And it's not the gang stalking program or the family keeping her from communicating with me. Now, the gang stalking program has that advantage. They're using that to their advantage. I wouldn't even say the family's using it. I don't think the family. I think the family is just like, at this point, I know they have their say in it. But I think they're looking at her like she's 20 something, she's 21, 22, 21 years old, so she can do what she wants to do now. And so at this point, again, it's back to the doubt that she has. And it's my heart pushing love and compassion to her. She's been in her own way, she's been pushing it back to me. But now we have to, we can't go off of YouTube videos and aura and energy and vibes and stuff. But we have to be able to sit down and talk. And so it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see how it manifests, because my belief is that it's going to happen at some point. Will it happen today? It's possible. Will it happen tomorrow? It's possible. Will it happen the day after that? It's very possible. The manifestation is now based on the timeline. And I've been watching her for months. Drive around, have to go through the gang stalk stuff. I've seen her drive around with like 50 different people doing the gang stalking, and none of them have been able to give her the permission slip she needs for her to say, I don't want to be with Jamil. It doesn't matter. Come on. We can gang stalk Jamil together and go around. She's never done that, and I don't think she ever will do that. I don't think that's in her. What she would have to do is she would have to find somebody who's a substitute, and the substitute that she finds, she still would never fully feel comfortable with them around me, and it'd be a situation where she's only doing it based on doubt. She's only with this substitute because she has doubt in me and her being together. But that doubt in me and her being together is based on a fear that's coming within her. And so it's just, what I mean? It's like a revolving door. So it's pretty cool though. It's interesting. And so that's the manifestation that's coming out, is open communication. It's just a countdown. That's all it is right now, is a countdown.